Can Tony pull it off? Now, of course, I am referring to the upcoming fight between Tony Ferguson and Paddy Pimblett. Paddy is 4-0 in the UFC with 3 finishes and 1 decision. The only notable win in that run could be considered Jordan Levitt, who has a first-round finish of Victor Martinez since Paddy choked him out and twerked in his face. Paddy's last fight was his controversial decision win over Jared Gordon, who the majority of fans and analysts believed had done enough to win. Now, let's have a look at Tony Ferguson's last 4 fights. He has lost to Bobby Green, Michael Chandler, Nate Diaz, and Beneil Dariush, all of whom would beat the absolute shit out of Paddy Pimblett. So, Paddy has shown that he does not move his head, keeps a low guard, and does not check leg kicks. Tony, despite being on a clear decline, hasn't shown that he isn't capable of hanging with the likes of Paddy. Paddy has done nothing in the UFC and would lose to the majority of the top 30. Let's name a few. Currently ranked at number 30 is Claudio Puelles, someone that Paddy could probably beat if I'm being honest. He could cancel out the BJJ threat with his own and win on the feet because somehow Claudio's striking is even worse than Paddy's. But when we look further up the rankings, we've got the likes of Jim Miller at 29, who would definitely give Paddy problems. Mark Madsen and Guram Kutalardze at 25 and 23. Then you've got Brad Riddell and Renato Moicano ahead of them, with Drew Dober, Bobby Green, and Matt Frevola there too. I don't think Paddy has any other chance of beating anyone, so the UFC has tried to feed Tony to him. But Tony, because of the absolute G that he is, will win. And here's why. Tony has only lost to the best in the division. His leg kicks will 100% give Paddy issues, and he still has a pretty good chin despite all the damage he's taken. Paddy is fresh off of a foot injury and, before his time off, wasn't really taking his place in the UFC seriously, getting fat outside of camp and being delusional about his last win. Now clearly, Tony's delusion is there too, thinking he's only just reaching his prime on a 6-fight losing streak, but this is a very winnable fight because Tony won't be fazed by Paddy's reckless style. Paddy does not have the accuracy of a Bobby Green or the finishing ability of Charles Oliveira. I think it's possible he could hurt Tony, yes, but do I see him knocking him out? Only Chandler's tree trunk leg has managed to do this, and Paddy just doesn't have that kind of power. I would argue Tony's jiu-jitsu is better than Paddy's, and his wrestling is also better, so to me, this is a fight that will mostly be contested on the feet. Yes, Tony has looked terrible in his last few performances and lost to the best in the world. But Paddy has looked bad even in victories against guys who are not necessarily good fighters themselves. Tony has proven he still has power, and Paddy not moving his head will be an easy target for Tony's straight punch and legendary sand attack.
Yeah, there you go. Give me sand.
I wish this fight was 5 years ago, as there would be no doubt Paddy would get carved up like a Christmas turkey. But I'm still going with Tony getting the upset and retiring after derailing the hype train. Even if it doesn't become a reality, I don't care. This is a choice that I am sticking with, and Tony is just the type of guy to go on a 6-fight losing streak just to knock Paddy the fuck out and retire. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.